Now, like I said, we had problems yesterday with Facebook, so I had purchased StreamYard as an alternative source, which hooked up to Facebook right away. So once I sent them a trouble ticket about Facebook, they fixed it right away because they don't want me to go anywhere else. They want me to
Yeah.
use whatever. So I want to welcome everybody to our show, Foreclosure Defense 101. I have Coach Neighbors with us. What do you got for us this week, Coach? I'm excited. I mean, you really got me pumped up for today's show.
Hey, Gene, welcome. I'm glad to be here. Welcome, everybody. I want to thank Gene and all the people at the radio station for making this happen and allowing us the opportunity to communicate together. So today is going to be a lot of fun. So I got an email from an investigator working for the Bar Association in the state of California. And apparently this investigator thought I was engaged in the unauthorized practice of law without a license. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about some updates on the jurisdictional challenge affidavit with the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. We're going to update that and a little bit about the course and the students that are that enrolled in the course. So let's just get started with the first order of business, the unauthorized practice of law without a license. So hang on one second here.
That's all right.
So the Supreme Court has ruled that no state can license the practice of law. And we're going to show, Gene's going to pull that up on the screen and show you guys that.
Yep. I'm just getting this on to make sure we're on the radio. I got everything up on Facebook. And we're definitely, Marguerite's asking me a question. Hold on, Marguerite.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it up right now. Let me do that.
Okay, take your time, buddy. So while he's working on that, so what he's going to show you guys is several pages of case law that I have put together and other stuff that shows that attorneys don't have a license and that what they're doing is totally illegal. And it's illegal for the court. And so when the court holds you to the standard of a licensed attorney, they're holding you to a higher standard than the attorney because the attorney don't have no license. And this one at the top here, lawyers and attorneys are not licensed to practice law, and the nature of the lawyer craft and as per 9. Yeah, that very top one is the main one, Swear versus the Board of Examiners. That is the main case that I use when they get in my face about this. And I'm sharing this with you guys because I know that there's people out there that are going to invest in my online course and learn how to help people do what I'm doing, learn how to help people defend their property. And I want to make sure that you understand what's really going on because we have been brainwashed to believe a lot of stuff that's just not true. And this is one of them. Attorneys do not have a license. They do not have a license. They are not registered with the Foreign Agent Registration Act, which is FARA. And according to federal law, they're supposed to be registered with FARA. They have a whole stack of paperwork that they're supposed to be doing and have available for the public to come and inspect upon request. All of this stuff is things that they're supposed to be doing, and they're not doing none of it. And this whole thing really, it really bugs me because I talk to people all the time that are like beating their head against the wall, okay, to try and to make sure that you have case law for your state and to make sure that all of this stuff. Okay, so you know how I get around that? I get around all that by using federal case law in my documents. And the one thing that you got to understand, if you're attacking the facts, okay, and the facts blow up their case in their face, what the hell do you need case law for? If you're attacking the facts and the facts blow up their case in their face, why would you need case law? People read the documents that I put together and they're so wrapped up in trying to fit this into the conventional molds. And once you do that, you're limiting yourself. So this whole thing is about backing your own self in a corner. And I'm just going to throw it on the table. And the reason that most people do this is because they're afraid they're going to look stupid when they
Right.
get into court.
Right.
That's the reason why most people do it. And the attorney's are going to laugh at you. Okay, newsflash, the attorney's already laughing at your ass because they're stealing your crap and you don't know what to do.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
so they already laughing at you. You know, I tell people when you're doing this, you can't have a whole bunch of different goals. You know, I don't want to get laughed at. I don't want to lose my house. I don't want to have to pack up. No, that's not the way it goes. You got to have one goal. And that one goal should be to do whatever the hell it takes to get to stay in your house.
Totally agree.
That's number one goal. And when people don't see that, you know, it stresses me out because I know what's going to happen at the end. Now, you guys can check this out. Gene's going to set this up kind of like he did the banker secret manual. So you can have access to this if you wanted it for, I don't know, $10 donation or whatever. And that money is going to use and help people like me be able to come on this show and share stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, because he is not charging me anything for being here. And I want to do what I can to help his radio station keep showing, so keep going so I can come and keep showing. So that's what this is all about. This is over 10 years of saving. When I structure a document, I'll spend whatever amount of time that I need to spend researching just that one thing until I figured out how the conventional program works and how the non-conventional program works. And then I fit them together. And usually the non-conventional program smashes out the conventional program because the conventional program is based off of fraud. And while I'm doing all of this research, I save little things that I run across. Like this one, attorneys are not licensed to practice. That is like priceless. And I had a guy that was trying to find this, and he couldn't. I was like, dude, are you kidding me right now? Attorneys remove this kind of stuff. So yeah, so it can be, they can put an ad over that. And I'll tell you right now, when the government was harassing me, which is the reason why I've learned to do what I'm doing. When the government was harassing me, when all that was over 6-7 years later, and I need to throw this in, I've never been convicted of anything. Okay, but I had a whole bunch of federal charges because that's how they roll. But I never been convicted of anything. And when I got all done and all of those charges got dropped, they didn't have a leg to stand on. And that all happened because I believe this. And I went through 14 attorneys. Well, some of them just quit. I have a hard time taking. Could you imagine being my attorney? I need you to go over there and put these handcuffs on. But anyway, so people need to stay focused. If you're in a position and you want to help someone or whatever, you know, here's the case law right here. And what happens in a lot of cases, you know, I was talking to some people yesterday, and they said, "Oh, well, we challenged jurisdiction before, and the judge just threw us out. Judge just threw it out." I was like, well, number one, if you study the issue of jurisdiction, you will understand that it's not something that the judge gets to rule on. The judge cannot tell you whether or not the court has jurisdiction. The people that's bringing the case in your face are the ones that have to provide proof of jurisdiction. And when the judge does that and you do nothing about it, then they do have jurisdiction because you haven't challenged them for it and you haven't stepped up to put the judge on notice. And people should understand that these judges are the attorneys, they're all friends in the same boat. They go golfing together, on vacation and do all that stuff. Okay, they're not there to help you. They are there to help them get you. So you have to keep that in mind. As soon as that judge violates you, you have to step up and do something about it. People don't realize So when you file a case, a lot of times what happens is that case gets, the district judge don't want to mess with it. You file something with my paperwork in it, the district judge is not going to want to mess with it because he or she is not going to want to put her or himself in a position to have to rule against the bank. So they're going to pass it down to the magistrate judge. And they're going to tell the magistrate judge, here, take care of this. The magistrate judge will take it, look at it, and then usually they'll figure out that it needs to be dismissed under Rule 12B and for failure to state a claim. And the magistrate judge is going to write a report to the district judge to dismiss your case of failure to state a claim. And the district judge is going to look at the magistrate judge's report and dismiss your case. And you have no idea how many people case. If your case got dismissed like that, call in and tell us, because I have a plan for it. As long as it wasn't more than 15 years ago. But this is what they do. So now your case is being dismissed, not based on the findings of fact and conclusions of law. It's not being dismissed based on a judicial review. It's being dismissed based off of an administrative procedure. And this is something people do not realize. You are in an administrative court. You have to force them to keep you in the judicial court. And I was telling a lady this, and she told me I sound crazy. I said, well, the government held me for 33 months and made me take 4 mental evaluations in 4 different states. And in the end, they had to let me go. They said I was crazy, but in the end, they had to let me go. So I think I'm not crazy.
I don't think you're crazy.
Maybe a little nutty, but not crazy.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, bro.
She's going to find out later that what I said is true. And these kind of things people don't take into mind when they're doing what they're doing. The judge dismissed it. Okay, so if you file my jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit and the judge dismissed it, then it's time to sue the judge, okay? Because that jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit has to be answered to a counter affidavit.
Mm-hmm.
Judge can't just dismiss it. Now, I have on my website, I have a reconsideration package. And in that reconsideration package, we address this issue with the judge, with the magistrate judge interfering. See, people don't realize the magistrate judge does not have jurisdiction to be in your case at all without consent from all parties. So once the magistrate judge gets involved and tells them to throw it out, that whole thing is and the district judge never looked at your stuff.
Right.
So the reconsideration package is designed to attach all the file stamp documents that you filed in the case that you're trying to get them to look at. You attach all of those file stamp documents to your motion for reconsideration as exhibits, and then you file the motion for reconsideration. And it forces the district judge to, I don't know, like a mini bench trial kind of a thing or something. Because now you're moving from reconsideration with everything that you need to have on the record in their face, and the district judge can't drop it down to the magistrate judge because you're asking for reconsideration from his or her decision. This is how you put yourself in position to sue them for violating you. So in the package for reconsideration is your motion for reconsideration, which you attach all your file stamp documents to that you filed in their court that they should have looked at, but they didn't. And then in the end, you write up why it is the judge threw your eye, obviously, whatever, sum that up. And then the next document that you're going to file against them is a motion to recuse the judge. I don't know why that finger came up with the one that recused the judge. That wasn't the intention. But anyway, we'll just stick it. Then we'll stick with the one finger. Then the motion to recuse the judge. And people don't realize that to recuse the judge, all you have to do is show the appearance of impartiality. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to show the appearance of impartiality. And when they dismiss your stuff without responding by counter affidavit, I mean, that's a wrap. And then the third document is your notice of claim against the judge for the $5.5 million. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter who you sue for your money. Whoever it is that's blocking you from getting in court is who you need to be going after. And that's what the program was kind of designed to do. Because I've been working with people in my private Facebook page from all over the United States of America. And we put together this program based off of responses from attorneys from different, because I get real-time feedback on, usually I get a call the same day to get the document, and I'm telling them, call me back in a couple of days after you relax and figure out what it is, because I can't talk to you right now while you're freaking out. But anyway, yeah, so the program that we're putting together is pretty powerful. Now, the last document that's in that reconsideration package is the template for the notice of appeal, okay? Because you want to, what I like to do is all of those things I just talked about, I stick them right in the judge's face. And then 2 days later, after I make sure they get on the record, I'll file my notice of appeal. And when you file the notice of appeal, it removes the jurisdiction from the lower court. And now you have all of this dirt showing what they're doing that's going over to the higher court. And higher court people are going to be saying, dude, y'all need to clean this up and get control of this people or something, because we can't be reeling on this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we've done that several times, and it worked flawlessly. The lower court can prevent you from doing the appeal by taking away the problem.
Wow.
Yes, sir. They take away the problem, and you have no reason for the appeal. And we have people in the group that actually have done that. Now, it allows you, they're not saying you win, we're going to give you some stuff, but what you're trying to do is just get your foot through the first gate, one gate at a time. One step at a time, one gate at a time. So you got your foot through the gate, now you're in the court. Now they're going to have to regroup and try to figure out another way to get you under control.
Right.
That's what this is about. People spend so much time worrying about the servicer and getting all this, everything exactly perfect, so they're not laughing at me or whatever. And at the end of the day, it's not going to come down to that. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to you having a fight with whomever it is that's trying to block you from getting in court. Sometimes it's the clerk. In Shamel's case, the clerk, in Shamel's case, when all this went down, she filed her jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit. They weren't able to respond. In that document is a motion to moot all of their pleadings until they prove jurisdiction on the record. So they're pretty much kind of screwed. So in her case, what these attorneys did is they filed, and this is our opinion based off of the facts that we gathered. They had the clerk file a motion to dismiss her document. And Shamel, like every single day and sometimes twice a day, checked that stuff to see what was going on. And once she saw that, she called me, and she was like, I'm not calling you freaking out. She says, I can't wait to see what we're going to do to him next.
It gets exciting. When you get on that side, it gets exciting.
So I told her, I said, have them send you a copy of the document. Now, they should have mailed it to you. Tell her to email it to you, because they're trying to sell your dad's house in 2 days. So you ain't got time to wait for the mail. So the emailed it over to her, and it wasn't signed by anybody. She called me up and told me that. I'm like, dude, you calling the wrong person. See, I know, but I just wanted to call you before I called down there, because I'm gonna be on the phone for a minute. Yeah, and she called down there, got in their face about it. And the clerk told her, oh my God, you're absolutely right. It's not signed by the judge or the attorneys or anybody. She says, this is frivolous, and I'm going to take it out. So she took it out. And Shamel said she was biting her lip because she wanted to attack her. I said, no, you did good, because we need somebody to help us from the inside. And the goal is to force them to start visualizing the shared liability. And once you do that, all you need is one person to step aside, and now they got a problem. Because the attorney had her file that, in, thinking no one's going to check
Right.
and they'll be able to rule on it
Right.
and
Right. Yep.
get this done and sell that in 2 days. So no, it didn't work out like that. I asked Shamel last night, I said, look, I want to know one thing from you, because this is important to me. How many times do you think you called down there and talked to that lady? And she busted out laughing. And she said, well, Mr. She called me Mr. Guy and Mr. Coach. She said, well, Mr. Guy, she thought for a few, I said, take your time. She said, just about every day she called down there because there was stuff wrong and things going on, and she's checking just about every day. She told me, she said, Mr. Coach, this is how to answer the phone when I call. Hello, Miss Maxwell, how are you today? So they can see a caller ID, I guess, on the phone.
Right.
So
Right.
they already knew that it was her, So, but people lose sight of that. All of that she did blocked them from dragging her in court. And the first time she went into court with my documents, they were all freaked out. And they wanted to know what law firm was helping her, and they were kind of yelling at her. And they told her, well, we're going to continue hearing because, and made some excuse. And so Shamel told me, she said, Coach Neighbors, I told the judge, I'll be back.
Coach, what you're saying is what I've been saying for years. A lot of the lawyers, I would say 90% of the lawyers are just bullies. They use intimidation and fear tactics to get what they want. And usually it works.
Usually.
Not with you, but usually it works.
Well, not with Shamel either, because she decided they ain't selling her desk.
Your students, that's different. See, your students are showing you why you're the coach. Your coach is the person that shows the people how to do the things and lets them do it.
Right.
That's what you're doing. Exactly.
And that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah,
I had a guy, okay, so this was a few years ago, before I started doing the lawsuit packages. I was using a sanction motion and a TRO kind of in a combination to make the attorney stand down. Mm-hmm. And my wife had a friend in Florida, in Newport Richey, and she had bought some foreclosure properties and paid everything. And then the judge had this period of time for anybody with a claim to step forward before he granted the deed over to her name. And then after he granted the deed to her name, these attorneys came out of the bushes and start, after she paid everything. I mean, it's almost like they're watching everything unfold, and then they come out and they attack her with foreclosure based off of the prior owner's debt.
Right.
And so I was like, no, that ain't right. So I put together the normal package that I put, they took in. Well, the judge and the attorneys yelled at her and scared her half to death. And because the attorney didn't like getting the $3 million sanction filed against him for his failure to do a reasonable pre-filing investigation. And I found that on the Bar Association's own website. Anyway, so they continued the hearing. So my wife's friend had her boyfriend come to town and go with her the next week to the second hearing. Well, in the meantime, I continued researching. And actually, my wife was the one that came up with this idea. And I'm just going to throw it on the table because she says, well, after the judge gives the amount of time, because I was going over the procedures that should have taken place. And she says, after the judge gives the amount of time for someone to come forward with a claim, after that, the property is no longer security for the prior owner's debt. Like, damn. Mm-hmm. That's it. Damn. She's like, and then I said, I'm glad I thought of that.
No, you're right.
No, but as you see, I give her the credit because she's a badass too. And so that's the way I put the paperwork together. So they went to court and they came over right before court and we kind of had a little sit down. So they went to court and her boyfriend named Bobby, he's texting me. She said, who's messaging you? I said, it's Bobby. She said, aren't they in court? I was like, well, yeah. And he's messaging me saying that they made them wait till last and then they moved them in the judge's chambers. Well, they moved in the judge's chambers so that everything gets off the record. because in the judge's chambers ain't nothing on the record. It's like
Right,
being
right,
in the
yeah.
bathroom. They can't
Right, right.
video you in the bathroom.
Right.
So they moved him to the judge's chambers. And then he kept texting me, and he was texting me what the judge and the attorney were saying. Now, Maria and her brother went, so there was two people there fighting, and he was, I don't know, he's texting me, and what are you gonna do? Shit, are you kidding me? So I texted back what to say. Yeah. So the judge told them to get out of his office and work it out outside of court.
That's what you want, right?
Yep.
And you got what you want.
That's so she's not making any more payments now because they couldn't prove that, you know,
Right.
it's a wrap. And she has on the record. Now, you know, I told her so you can have someone put together a quiet title for you. I don't do that because I'm too focused on the front half and I haven't had time to worry about that. But, you know, and she's real non-confrontational. She's like, no, well, you already got on the record what you need. You got all the paperwork that you saved in your notebook binder. So if anybody ever gets in your face, you know, because what happens is sometimes well, in this case, most of the time, I haven't had anybody call me back saying, hey, months later or a year later that the other attorney, because attorneys don't want to mess with that because they know, you know, the deal now.
Yeah, they don't want you to know. That's the thing. They don't want you to know. We taking any phone calls today?
Go ahead.
Are we taking any phone calls?
Yeah, sure.
Or is anybody coming on with us on Zoom? Is anybody coming up?
Well, I invited the guy from California to call in. I sent him 2 emails. I didn't want to harass him, but well, actually I did, but I'm trying to be professional.
Well, I'll leave the number. It's 609-585-0400, 0400, 609-585-0400. They can call in anytime and we'll take the call. But that's really interesting, Guy, because, you know, again, when you play at their level, they don't want that. They don't want you to know what they're doing. They sneak around. You know, they're like snakes. They're really like snakes in the grass, and they all play in the same grass. And it's sad. It's really sad because they take advantage of people. And we sit back and we realize there's nothing you can do. And then you come along and go, well, here's what you can do.
Yep, there you have an option. And I'll tell you, this jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit package that I put together, I wanted to give a little bit of an update about it. I've had people use it, and they get really frustrated with it because they look at the document and they try to fit it into the same mold as the conventional document, and you can't. You know, I had a lady call me one day and ask me if I made that document, and she was serious, and I started laughing because you know, it's like, well, who else? I don't know who else could have made it. I mean, it's. I had one attorney say one time, "This is just a bunch of stuff, copy and paste it." Yeah, well, it's pasting your butt too, ain't it? But the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit is a little bit different. At the top, so what you have to do if you invest in that document to blow up your case, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you replace the red font with your information accordingly. So at the top of the document, instead of having the bank on the attorneys and all that, in the defendant slot, it's the attorney general for your state. And then you're filing this in their state case. So when you get that, you just need to put your attorney general name at the top, and then you.
Well, let me get this phone. I know who it is. It's Marjorie. Marjorie, can you hang on? Guy was finishing something. Go ahead, Guy, finish, and then I'll let Marjorie on.
Okay, so the attorney general, we're sending it to the attorney general's name at the top as the #1 defendant, and then everything else is the same, and then your name here, or as a plaintiff, excuse me, attorney general's a plaintiff because you're filing this in their state case they filed against you. Okay, and then down here you're the defendant because it's in the state case they filed against you, and then underneath that there's a line. Underneath that is the attorney's name that signed the document against that started foreclosure against your house.
Right.
Okay, and the reason we're doing this is because, well, #1, a jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit has to be responded to with a counter affidavit, or it's hasn't been properly responded to.
Correct.
And they can't respond to it with a counter affidavit because everything they're doing is lies. Okay, so when you add the Attorney General to it, now the Attorney General, people don't realize that if the judge violates you, and like I had one person do, the judge violated him and said, no, dismiss this. Okay, now the judge can be sued in civil court. Now, when you put your paperwork together to sue the judge, when you get your reconsideration package and your paperwork to sue the judge, then you will be able to file your lawsuit against the judge and get that settled. So the judge is not the one that's going to be, now they're going to have to bring in a different judge to hear your, and then once the new judge sees what's going on, it's going to open up. So the problem is you want to make sure that the jurisdictional challenge with an affidavit is not blown off by the judge. And if the judge does do that, then you would need to move for reconsideration and do all of those things. Now, the reason we put the Attorney General's name on there is because when you file your claim against a state actor, who do you have to send it to?
Attorney General.
The state Attorney General.
Yep. Yep.
So, and this is just the way I think about different ways. So now you're including that person in. So now if I was Attorney General, bam, I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh man, I can't answer to this by counter affidavit, nor can I answer to it by just on the merits of the thing. So I'm wondering how they're going to do that, because if they don't do the right thing, then I'm going to end up with this mess in my lap. Now you see how that works.
Yeah, it all ties in. Yeah. So we have Marjorie on the phone. Hey, Marjorie, how are you? This is Coach Neighbors.
I'm good, Green. How are you?
I'm good.
Hi,
Coach Neighbors
Marjorie.
is on. So go ahead. What's your question or comment or what do you got?
Hey, Guy. I've been fighting since 2012. I'm doing a lot of what you are saying, although I didn't know the trick of moving to federal court, which seems to be the key. We're now on our 5th judge and our 5th law firm. The pattern of practice I see when parties start suing law firms is they start changing their name.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to say about that?
Well, so you add the attorneys as the #1 defendant in your lawsuit?
I personally haven't done it. I've seen other homeowners that file a separate lawsuit. They aren't going to federal court, they're doing it in state court. And then that law firm at the time, which was Hauser and Allison, is now Eric Hauser Corporation. And the lawyers are coming in under Hauser LPP.
So
they're trying to distance themselves, basically.
So basically what I teach people, when you add the attorney as a #1 defendant to your lawsuit, then that creates a situation for them. See, the best way to do this, Marjorie, is to use their own rules against them.
Yeah.
So when you add, now if you add the attorney, I don't know if the person that you're referring to done that or not, but when you add the attorney to your lawsuit as a #1 defendant and file it in federal court, because federal court's a higher court, you're not going to get anything done in state court because they're all buddies. And they're kind of buddies in federal court too, but there is some animosity between federal court and state court. So the best thing to do is to add the attorney. When you add the attorney as a #1 defendant to your lawsuit and their law firm as the 2nd defendant, then you create a problem for them. And the problem that you create is this: the attorney can't represent themselves and they can't litigate a case they're a party to. And most people don't know this, the court rules will not allow them to go into court pro se. So the attorney's law firm, they can't represent the law firm they're affiliated with in court. So now they have a problem. So
Yeah,
generally what they would
you just
do is go out
explained
and,
to me what happened with another homeowner.
well, let me
That was
finish this first,
pretty-
Marjorie.
Wait, Marjorie, let him finish first.
Let me
And
finish this
comment.
first.
Hold on.
So when the attorney hires outside counsel, okay, the outside counsel figures out that you're suing the attorney and the law firm for wrongful foreclosure, breach of contract, and for unlawfully foreclosing as a third-party debt collector, then the other attorney is not interested in getting in the middle of that. This is what I see, and this is how things have unfolded. So what happens at that point is the judge has to let the attorney go into court and represent himself or herself and the law firm, because they can't get nobody else step up. The reason, in my opinion, the other attorneys don't want to step up is, well, can't step up, is because they're doing the same thing. And when they realize the deal that they're collecting as a third-party debt collector, they don't want to get in it because you'll turn on them because they can't come to court with unclean hands and do anything. So that creates a problem. So now the judge allows them to proceed without in violation of the rules. So now you would have to take the demand to strike the attorney's notice of appearance that's included in my package and stick it in the attorney's face. And when you demand to strike the notice of appearance, it removes everything that the attorney filed in court. And you're doing that because the attorney cannot represent the law firm. And I have like 3 pages, and it's a serious issue. Now they allow them to go through because they figure 80% of us can't afford an attorney. They'll be able to do whatever they want to. But then you jam them up with the demand to strike, and then if the judge dismisses that, then you do the same thing with the reconsideration program we just talked about. You add all of that stuff to your package, and you file the reconsideration, and then you jump through the next hoops, and that's what you want to use for your appeal if you need to do that while you're getting your lawsuit ready for them violating you, and your motion for recusal also to file against the judge. So there's a plan. You have to be ready to attack them as soon as they violate you.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been attacking for years, and I wanted to confirm to you that I believe your approach, like I said, others are doing it here, and it has caused the lawyer to separate from the law firm. So something must be doing something.
That is good though, right? Because that's what we're wanting. We want. If we separate, like you said, if we separate somebody for something else, that takes them out of the picture. Now they're on their own.
Correct.
I like that.
But a lot of that gets avoided when you add the attorney as the number one defendant. And you know what? Some of the things that we're going to be changing in the online course, because the online course documents are more powerful. What we're going to change in the online course is we're going to add to the claim the attorney's assets and the attorney's bar license. We can add whatever we want to the claim for damages. Right. We're going to add those things to the claim, because when you come into the door now going after the attorney's assets, his personal or her personal assets, then yeah, that's going to change things a little bit, because now that attorney is looking at losing all of their stuff.
I want to do this. Yeah, do I really want to do this?
Yep. And here's another thing, Marjorie. If the judge is violating you, in my opinion, the number one thing to attack the judge with is a notice of claim or a claim, depending on where the situation is. If you're not about to get thrown off the cliff and kicked out of your house, then you could do the notice of claim and give them a chance. But the number one thing that I use in the lawsuit package of reconsideration and the notice of claim that we file against the judge is you're going to go after the judge for violation of the Administrative Procedures Act. Now, you're going to have to add some other things in there, because the Administrative Procedures Act is an administrative issue, so you can't get money from that. But that's created all the other things, constitutional violations and all the other things. But that's what you use to jam the judge up. But if you want to research that, you have to look it up as Administrative Procedures Act of 1946. If you don't add of 1946, then you'll pull up Cornell Law Library watered down crap that attorneys post on there. Now, the Administrative Procedures Act is actually a federal law that was actually enacted in 1946. And the purpose of this law is to prevent these corporations from, the purpose of the law was to force the corporations to make sure that their rules and policies were in line with the Constitution. And this is a serious thing. And I had a friend that went through a situation with the BOP, and I stuck this in their face, and it filled up the thinking halfway house with 3 people with suits on from somewhere, wanting to make sure that not only everything was cool, but they wanted to make sure that their friend didn't have any more problems. And we've used it several times. So the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, that is the main thing that I would use to stick in the judge's face, because everything that they're doing is in violation of the Constitution. And people don't realize that that is an administrative court. It's not from the Constitution. It don't have any, and that's why you don't have no rights in there. And that's why they just step on everybody unless you can force them to keep you in a judicial court. And the way you do that is by attacking them when they try to throw you under the bus with their administrative rules. I hope that makes sense.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to hang up now. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you for calling in.
Keep us updated too, Marjorie. You know what to do. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Gene, I don't know if you saw my comment the other day about the last time I appeared on your show, the lawyer threw that into the case and tried to get us.
I love that. Yeah, that's all right.
So that other homeowners would not fight like I have been.
Well, you know what? The hell with them. I want you on the show anytime you want to be on the show. You let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Marjorie,
hold on. The guy's asking a question. Go ahead, guy.
Okay.
Can Gene give me your email address, Marjorie? I want to send you some stuff to help you out. I love what you're doing too. I'm going to send you my reconsideration package, and I'm going to look and see what else I have that I can send you that you can use to help you.
Thanks.
Please, Marjorie, send it to me anytime. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling too. She's an old friend. I mean, really old friend from mine. When we had the issue with the mortgages and stuff like that, we had her on a couple times, and she's really, really knowledgeable. But she, of course, she stumbled on a couple things, just like I did. You know,
Yeah.
you could be
well, we all did. Believe me.
We're learning, guy. We're learning.
I've been thrown out of court a lot, but we learned. And you get her email address, Gene, and get it over to me, and I will send her what she needs to help what she's doing, because I really appreciate her calling in, and any friend of yours ranks with me. So the reason I'm here is to help people, and so that's what we're going to make sure that we're trying to get done.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So we got about another 15 minutes. Anybody else want to call in? You can call in. Wait, you guys want me to put that back up on the screen? I can do that. I'm just doing something else here on the side, but I'm listening to Coach Neighbors. I'm learning a lot, guys. I'm learning a lot. When I started doing this show with Coach Neighbors, I said, you know what? If you can teach the people out there what you know, and as I listen, I learn, I feel like I'm getting the school for free. So that's what he's telling you. He's telling you you don't have to go by a lot of things, but get his course. His course is amazing. He's an amazing guy. He's been through a lot, and he knows. And like he says, he constantly tweaks things. So, and we have to stay on that, because they try to change the strategy in their game a little bit. You have to change your strategy and game. And I love where he does that. He just, then we go after these assets and we go after this. That's exactly what you need to do.
I just sent you a link to my online course, Gene. Maybe you can share that with me.
Yeah, let me see it. I got to get it. I'll get it for you, and
I'll send it to your messenger.
I will get it up there. Give me a second to get to it. I will find it, and I will get your online course up there.
So I'm really thankful. I've had a lot of people go to my YouTube channel and look at my stuff. I need 1,000 subscribers. I have 867, almost, or 897, almost 900, and I need 4,000 hours of watch time, and the watch time has increased 97% from people watching our the radio show and our other live streams and listening to all the stuff that we share with people. So once I qualify to monetize my YouTube channel, I'm going to reduce the price of my lawsuit packages again. So I want to have a package for the people that are struggling, and then I want to have a premium package for the people who have like property investments and stuff, and that they want to protect their properties. So that's what the online course is for. The online course is great for people who just want to protect their house too, you know, if your budget allows that. But I want to have a program for both. And the online course program is going to grow. Originally, I wanted to like put my business together and then sell it and teach people how to do what I'm doing, how to be a paralegal and help people or whatever. And it was really complicated, but having an online course simplified everything a lot. So now I have the first course up showing you how to defend your property in a judicial foreclosure. I'm working on the non-judicial. Eventually, I'm going to do an addendum to the program, and it'll be restructured and repriced. The new stuff will be everything that I'm doing, all of the websites that I use to run my show, sell my item, to host my website, all of the websites that I use, Morning Fame, TubeBuddy, to make sure that my videos have titles that help them rank. And we're going to go over the whole list and how to do the back half of what I'm doing, which is the business part. And I'm not sure what I'm going to price that at right now, because I don't know how much work it's going to take to get it all put together.
Oh, I know.
But when I get it put together, that will be a great program for people who want to do this as a business.
That's a great idea. Great idea.
And I think I would suggest that you get an IT person to help you. So I'm going to help you cut out a lot of the stuff, trying to figure out which one to use. But you might need an IT person to help you get your website set up and do some of those things. But at least we'll have a game plan and show you how that game plan works. Oh, that's pretty.
I can't see. I got to look at my Facebook and wait till it comes up. But yeah, I got the also the thing there too. I got the I have to go into the other one.
Now I found out last night late that when you click on the enroll button, it takes you to the wrong page.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I'm going to work on when we get done here. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, oh no, this is not right. And my wife's like, you find more stuff to work on late at night. Go to sleep. You're going to sleep, right? Go on there, go to sleep.
Me too. I do the same thing.
So I need to work on that. Apparently, when I started building the second course, I didn't have a separate checkout page and a product page. And so it automatically took that page and put it over there. And then this course I have built already. So now the product page is not showing. And I was like, oh my God. But I can honestly say I did it all myself, okay?
I get what you're saying.
But you know, if you don't step up and step up to the plate, you're never going to get a chance to hit that ball. So, you know, when I first started streaming, the first stream I did, it took me like an hour and a half to figure out how to shut it off, you know? And I had a bunch of windows open, and I didn't realize that when the video downloads and that little tiny window is behind everything, and it won't let you do anything. And yeah, so I figured that out.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn how to do it, but I'm also going to, when your show comes on, I'm going to be able to put your HTTPS on the bottom of your screen. I know it can be done. I just don't know how to do it. I haven't done it yet. But once I learn, I know how to do the StreamYard. I was playing with StreamYard last night. And what I want to do with StreamYard is maybe next week, we'll try your show on there. I can put some banners up. I can put some things and a lot more stuff. And here's the thing with StreamYard is, and I just pointed this out to my co-partner, business partner, we can broadcast on up to 5 or 8 different destinations at once.
Wow.
So if you get a page that's have 20,000 people, while you're live on my page, you'll be live on that page and all the other pages you desire. You just got to let me know what they want and if we're in them, because I have to make sure I log into them.
Right.
You know, groups accept it because remember, Facebook, and this is not to down Facebook at all because I'm not really trying to do that, but this is a technical issue. If you try to share it fast on Facebook, they will ban you. If you try to share any of these programs on Facebook as it's live, they will ban you. But if you put them all live at the same time, they can't ban you.
So if you try to share this live on Facebook, they'll ban you?
Yeah, if you do it too fast. You know, I'm going through all my groups, bang, 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 you know, like down real quick down the road. Like down, you know.
Oh, I see.
You have a mortgage one, you have this one, you have that one, you have foreclosure one, you have banks, and you have this one. And you want to put all your information in there and you want to put your link in there. They will ban you because they'll say you're doing it too fast. There's a certain time limit I don't know what it is. They don't even, they come up with their own rules.
So you think they just tell you to not
They're
do
like
it,
lawyers.
So they're kicking you out.
Right. They're like lawyers. They let you use the program, the format, but then they tell you can't use it like this. You can't use it like that. Come on. You got it so we can use it.
They make new rules as they go.
That's what it is. They make them as they go. So any last things? Because we're going to come up to about another 10 minutes and we're going to be done. Unless you have any other things you want to say.
Yeah, I'm really excited that I got a chance to share the unauthorized practice of law without a license with people, and I hope it makes people wake up and take a look at things, because you know it's really a big issue, because they're holding you to a standard of a licensed attorney, and attorneys don't even have a license, and they won't let people come in and help you in court because not a license, you know. So this one thing here is one of the things that they use to keep you under the brick, keep the brick on your head, so you can't get anything done. And people should understand the judge is not the one that has the final say. We do. It ain't over until we sit down.
Yep.
And so many people, you know, tell me, oh, well, we got shot down. Well, did you expect not to? So what did you do next? Sat down? We got shot down, so we sat down. No, you have to attack them when they throw you under the bus. And if you do it properly, they will let you in court and get out of your face for that instance. And they will be grumpy as hell, but that's not your problem. And that's kind of what I tell them. It's not my problem when they want to be grumpy. I tell you, attorneys are so dirty. B, she's one of the ladies in the group that is in her house that, you know, was with me when we first started the lawsuit packages. And she told me that she wanted to, and I'm sharing this because this is really important. She told me she wanted to pay them because her husband had got a good job and all this stuff since all this started, and just take care of it that way. And so I told her, and this was before she got the lawsuit package, I told her, that's fine if you want to do that. Okay, you need to make sure that they give you a new contract. You need to sign a contract saying they're accepting your payment, they're going to leave things as it was, or whatever. If you don't do that, they will take your money, and then they will say you owed it to them for past rent or for past mortgage payments, and continue the foreclosure. People don't realize that once they start the foreclosure, theoretically you violate the contract. So the contract is done. So there's no contract. So if you want to like pay them, you have to make sure that you get a new contract or something in writing stating that they're going to accept your payment and they're going to leave everything where it was, or however they want to do that. If you don't do that, you're going to find yourself in a position. Now, B forgot that I told her to get the thing signed. Good thing about her is she got the lawsuit filed. She filed the lawsuit in a panic, and then she decided to work it out. So she didn't serve any of the parties, and she worked it out, but she didn't get anything showing that could protect her. And she found out 3 months later that her house had been sold by a different attorney, probably from the same firm, but we didn't really check on that. She found out that her house had been sold when the crew showed up to change the locks on her doors, thinking she was moved out and the house was vacant.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was, so she called me, her husband, and I was on the phone with somebody and she called me. I couldn't take the call. Then her husband called, and then her husband called from a computer phone or something. And so when I hung, I called the last call back first, and her husband was kind of grumpy, and he was yelling at me because he thought I was, I don't know, part of the problem. And he wanted to know what the hell I had to do with foreclosing on his house. And he's like, okay, dude, who is this? And you need to relax, because I don't talk to anybody yelling at me or being abusive, because I don't have to. Anyway, so he calmed down and we started talking. So what B had to do was just serve everybody. Since she had her lawsuit already filed, she served everybody and was able to complete the process, and she's still in her house, and that was almost a year ago next month, I think. And they haven't been able to answer to their stuff. And you know, a lot of the times people join the Facebook page, and then if I have updates or change things, I'm able to post that stuff in the page. So I tell people to check that page all the time, because you just never know. In her case, I posted a thing that she could use to help her with continuing forward, and they haven't had a chance. They haven't been able to respond to her, so she's still in her house, and that's pretty cool. But that's just one of the things of the way attorneys throw you under the bus. You know, I mean, they don't care about people, and they will take advantage of you. And as you can see, you know, what they're doing is totally illegal, but they got no problem with your family being stuck out on the street and all your stuff being thrown out on the curb. You know, I had a lady from Georgia call me one day, and I felt really bad for her. She works in Florida, and she had an attorney working for her, and the attorney told her that they had a hearing in 2 weeks on her wrongful foreclosure lawsuit that her attorney filed on her behalf. The problem is, she obviously didn't see the lawsuit, didn't check to see if it was filed. She just let the attorney roll, and she got a call that they were putting her stuff out on the curb in the rain. And so she's driving home from Florida, work from Florida to Georgia, in a you know, crying, trying to figure out what's going on, and what happened was the attorney let them sell her house and didn't even fight. I don't even know if she actually had her lawsuit filed. The attorney actually filed it for her. So she was obviously staying in a hotel because they changed the locks and locked her out. Oh man, what a mess. What a mess. All off of this fraudulent stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, I know.
So sometimes when people attack my ads or my posts, and especially the Unauthorized Practice Law Without a License, it plucks a nerve, and I get a little pissed off, you know, because it's ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
I know.
You people are trying to stop me from helping the same people that you're not interested in helping. Well, why are you not helping them? Because you're stealing from them.
No, you're right. You're right. 100% right. Well, Guy, you know what I'm thinking? I want to talk to you off air about this, but I think that we can do something huge, like a webinar, and you know, whatever you want to do, what do you discount, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But if you get like 50 or 100 people to that webinar, that's people that are contacting you, that are knowing you, and you know, you have a couple testimonials on that webinar, and you're taking off.
Yeah,
my YouTube.
I'm set up on Zoom to where I can have webinars and have over 100 participants.
There you go, man. Just do it. Do it.
And so I've been But I got to get this online course thing. I got to get the enroll button working first. But yeah, you know, that's something that I want to think about putting on a webinar, because I can put on a webinar and just, you know, have it priced low enough to where a normal person can afford it.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing, you know, 50 people or something, then that's going to make it well worth everybody's time. So
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about that.
That's a great idea. One of my friends does that with his business, and he makes a lot of money doing it. By doing every 6 months, he does a webinar, and he's updating this, updating that, updating this, updating that. And it's quite lucrative, you know. More and more people come on, more and more people, you know, like you said, you save your home. What's it worth to you? What is it worth to have the peace and quiet and the time with your family, rather than these dogs taking everything away from you for all their profit? You know, to me, that's worth millions of dollars. It really is.
Yeah. Well, I look at it, I like to keep things like in simple, smaller terms. And so for me, it would be, what's it worth to you to have a chance to fight? That's it. What's it worth to you to have a chance to fight back?
Yeah.
Because most people don't have the opportunity to fight back. And, you know, when I say fight back, you know, I mean, you know, with a program that's going to like make a difference right now. And that's what the online course is about. And I thought, you know, when I got the email, I got an email one day from Teachable. I didn't know because they were running advertising, and I you know, I clicked on and looked at it. You know what? This is a great idea. This would be a great way to package my program with all of the documents, all of the videos, all of the stuff, all right there, right there. And so that's kind of what I'm working on doing now. I think I have 17 documents. Not all of them are lawsuit packages, but I have like 17 documents on my website. And I think I'd like to have at least 12 or 13 online courses showing people how to use those documents.
Right.
They have to do with the credit card lawsuits. You know, if you guys are having a problem with the credit card company coming after you, you should contact me, because I have on my document, I have a credit card lawsuit. I think I have it, the whole lawsuit package. I think it's like $200. And I put that low because I want people to be able to use that to repair your credit. And when I say that, when you get the package, you understand, because that package is the bomb. And I haven't had anybody use it that didn't achieve the goal they were trying to get. And that goal is to force those third-party debt collectors to get out of your face and leave you alone. And second, to make that phone call to the credit reporting agency and remove all the information, the lies that they told them. And especially in the HIPAA medical, I have the HIPAA medical, it's $20. The HIPAA medical letter, violation letter is $20. And you do the same thing with it. If you got medical debts that you need to address, you use the HIPAA violation letter, dispute letter, and you force the attorneys to discharge the debt and to call the credit reporting agency and remove everything that they told them. And I'm telling you right now, that's the quickest way to get your credit cleaned up. You don't have to pay people $200 a month for 7 months. You just need to call down there and make the attorney get their Uh-oh.
I think you got another call. Oh, let's see who this is. Another call. Let's see. Hello, this is the radio. This is got Coach Neighbor's show. Who's calling?
I'm calling for Brian.
Sorry, wrong number. Okay, wrong number.
He's calling for Guy?
Brian.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah, I hung right up on him.
Okay.
Sometimes I get numbers that people call. They just make, they get afraid. And
I get spam calls all the time on my cell phone.
Well, they divert the calls too. That's something new. They've been doing that for a while now, but it's something kind of new. All right,
yeah, they'll call you, make it look like it's your area code number.
And here's the thing you don't ever want to do. Don't call back the number, because they divert the call and then it goes to somewhere else and then you charge you for the call. So just keep that little information out. There's all kinds of tricks out there. And probably done by a lawyer, right? Hey, listen, I'll talk to you later. We'll we'll catch up next week. We'll try StreamYard. We'll try to get some of your links. So I have your links up there. And we'll try to see if we can get StreamYard to work that way. I don't know how the recording works on StreamYard, but I can put it on Facebook. And then I know I can go to Facebook and then get the recording when we're done. So one way or another, we'll keep it.
Cool. Right. Thanks, Gene. I really appreciate you.
All right, no problem, man. Glad to help. Like I said, I'm always glad to help. You know me. All right, take care. Have a good night, buddy. Bye-bye.
You too, buddy.